Hello! So I hope you're excited about this recipe as I am. I am half Filipino, and so I grew up eating white rice pretty much every day. And it was really, really hard for me to cut white rice out of my diet, but I did it like everything else with the possible diet through practice. I did the reps. I cut back and cut back and cut back, and then I cut it out here and cut it out there, and then I finally got to the point where like I really don't eat white rice all that much anymore. Like I might have it with sushi once in a blue moon, but I don't really eat it that much, and I don't really miss it. But I do miss my Auntie Lee's bacon fried rice. Y'all, if you grew up in an Asian family, you have had bacon fried rice. If you grew up in a Filipino family like me, you have a can of Folgers coffee filled with bacon fat, because we do like our pork. So, oh, wow, I got a little too close to that pan. So this is dangerous. Don't get too close to it. This is bacon that I've been frying, and it's just about ready. And it's cut up like this. You want to cook it in the pan, and then you want to add onion in a wok. Uncle Roger would not approve of this wok that I got at TJ Maxx for like $9.99. You want to add 4 to 5 ounces of diced bacon. Looks like that. We'll take the sting off of the hot oil that I'm leaning over. And to that, you want to add a cup of chopped onion, also diced onion. Leave the fat in the pan. One of the ways that you can slow the rate of carb absorption and insulin release is by adding protein or fat to a carb. This might be why the French are so lean, because they eat croissants, which have butter and fat, with the bread, with the flour. So I thought, how can I take something like fried rice, which is, like 80 grams of carbs a serving, and turn it into something that is high vegetable, high protein, high fiber to slow the rate of absorption of those carbs. Because I'll be honest with you, every once in a while I eat Nom Nom Paleo's kimchi fried cauliflower rice, but it's just not the same thing. I grew up in an Asian family, and I really know the difference between cauliflower rice and white rice. It's not the same. But I have found that short grain brown rice I can put in a sort of like fried rice recipe, and it's pretty good. And I read an article, which some people have debunked, that if you cook rice and then you let it sit in the fridge overnight, it reduces the absorbable carbs. So I cooked short grain brown rice last night, and I put it in the fridge overnight. This is a cup and a half, and I'm going to add this to my bacon fat saturated onions. So I'm going to coat the rice in a layer of fat to make it harder for my body to, sort of harder for my blood sugar to spike. And you can use a whole 10-ounce package of bacon or 8-ounce package of bacon. I don't recommend it. I'm pretty sure that when my aunt makes her fried rice, which she makes with white rice, and it does not have as many vegetables as this does, she probably adds extra bacon fat to it. But calories count. I went on a run this morning, but it wasn't exactly a 10K. So make sure you coat up all that short grain brown rice with bacon fat. And then I like to add just a teaspoon of sesame oil for flavor. I don't add soy sauce to my fried rice until the end because with the bacon, it's really so salty that I find you don't generally need it. And then once everything is kind of like coated in fat, I make a little space and add a squeeze of garlic paste. This is a little weird. Mostly people will add the garlic with the onion, but I always end up burning it somehow. So I add the garlic right before I add all the other vegetables. Making a mess here. So keep your heat high. This goes really fast. 3 cups of chopped cabbage. Cabbage cooks way down. It's full of fiber. It's full of healthy nutrients. It's a great thing to put it. You can put it in just about anything. I always thought cabbage was only meant for coleslaw, and then I started dicing it and shredding it and putting it in everything. I put red cabbage in all my salads because it just adds a beautiful burst of color. And now I find that, it's an easy way to get your leafy greens in. So if you look at this, there's only a cup and a half of rice in this whole big bowl of bacon fat covered goodness. And I find that it gives you just enough to feel like, you're still getting all those wonderful flavors. Probably the bacon fat is the only flavor, but this is how to make my bacon fried rice. Once that cabbage kind of wilts a little bit, and remember, always keep your heat high. If you don't have a wok, you can use, like a Dutch oven or a giant saucepan. You can go to Ranch 99 and get a wok for super cheap if you want. Then you got to season it. And I'm too lazy, so I bought a non-stick, like a German-made wok from TJ Maxx. So now that cabbage is just a little bit wilted, you're going to add in 4 scrambled eggs. I pre-scrambled these eggs, and they're almost all cooked because they're going to cook a little bit in this. These eggs are super yellow because they're the Happy Egg Company eggs, which I love. And again, adding protein and fat to your carbs, it just slows the rate of absorption. That's one of the saddest things really about the no fat craze of the 90s is that by taking out all of the fat, we enabled our bodies to just kind of perpetuated the cycle where you dump a bunch of non-fat carbs into your system, non-fat, low-fiber carbs into your system, and there's nothing to slow down the absorption. So it's like drinking a can of Coke. When you eat bread that doesn't have eggs in it, or, rice or noodles that don't have a little olive oil, you don't have to be afraid of fat. If you make sure that your fat, this is organic, sugar-free, pasture-raised bacon. It's really high-quality meat. And so I don't feel so bad eating this fat. And then I've got onions, which are super good for you, and cabbage. Now I'm going to add half a cup of peas, green peas, just frozen peas I defrosted, and a half a cup of chopped green onion. If you've been watching any of my videos, You know that my jam is trying to fit as many vegetables into a dish as I possibly can. And my bar, my lowest bar, is really like 3. But when I can get 5, like I did here, I feel pretty good. All right. And that is bacon fried rice. I'm going to have a big bowl of this with a little soy sauce on top. Maybe some other spices, but those are the basics. And enjoy.